Alright, a lot of these videos have been getting pretty long-winded, like 20 plus minutes. Nobody wants to stare at this head for 20 plus minutes, so let's just go. We're going to cover what we need to cover. Double time. I've been into Gundam for a long-ass time. I used to collect when I was a teenager, came back to it as an adult, and we've done a bunch of them on the channel. And there's not a lot of the series or movies that I haven't seen. Weirdly, Gquuuuux is one of them. One of the reasons that I actually got out of Gunpla to start with as a teenager is because Warhammer started to take over, and now it seems that there's been a crossing of the timelines, and we have Gundam Warhammer. Well, Bandai and Games Workshop would probably hate it being called Gundam Warhammer. Let's go with Gundam Tabletop Wargame. That's what it is anyway. At least that's what it will be, because at the time of filming this video, Gundam Assemble hasn't actually quite been released yet. This is already getting longer than I'd like, let's go. And of course, because we're trying to do something quickly, the paint has kind of welded the fucking needle in. If yanking it like a monkey in a mango tree doesn't work, try this out. Little known fact, the Tamiya Airbrush Cleaner and Tamiya Extra Thin Cement are basically the exact same thing. Not only will it weld plastic, but it'll also start to break down paint. A few drops and a wiggle will do it. If you're thinking, okay, we've got the airbrush unclogged, the needle unstuck, we should be set and problem free. I thought that too. This happens a lot more than I'm willing to admit. Once I get out of the rhythm of pressing record, painting, and then pressing stop, things go haywire. You forget one step, and you end up painting everything off camera. And that's exactly what happened. Even though we have an entire base coat of Terrestrial Titan on there, the first actual colour that you're going to see painted in this video, Basilisk Red. I laid the Terrestrial Titan down to act as somewhat of a shadow tone because I'm going to use something akin to directional light when it comes to painting this. It's something that doesn't happen a lot in Gundam or Gunpla, but it does in miniature painting. It's essentially just a zenithal highlight, just not quite as steep of an angle. I'm trying to hit everything from above and front on, leaving the shadows just in the undercarriage. I threw in a few drops of Opal Skin just to light it up and give us a bit of a highlight, and that is getting focused mainly towards the head and chest. I'm trying to force focus to the head and build a gradient downwards. Since a red Gundam is actually just a red Gundam, we're already up to the details. This is just black, not really that much to say. Since this was lore accurate, reference photos were a little easier to come by. And for those reference shots, I literally just googled Red Gundam. After weighing through all of the fucking Zakus, we got to this. The hardest part about this step is actually the brush control. Color matching paints through the airbrush with a brush is not an easy task, especially when you've built up a gradient first. So taking our cues from the crusty sock next to the bed, the best way to avoid the cleanup is by avoiding the mess. So grab a nice sharp brush, thin down your paint so they flow off the bristles but not so much that they run away like a wash. Throw on some Barry White and give it some attention, baby. If you do get a little heavy-handed, go back to your base color and your highlight tone and just try and match it up. Alright, look, I'm going to bust out the yellow for a hot second, but we're still actually doing the black parts. This is Demigod Flames from the Army Painter Fanatic range. And to be completely honest, if you grab nothing else from the Army Painter, at least grab the yellows. To be fair, there are a whole bunch of preparation steps that you can take before getting to an actual yellow, but when something out there already exists with the one-step coverage that we actually need and want for these kind of things, there's no point. And honestly, this should tell you all that you need to know right here. The coverage of that yellow is so insane that I actually had to come back and clean up with the black. Once that's all set in, I'm coming in with the darkness and we're going to start to highlight some of that black. I'm going to level with you, don't expect anything amazing here. This whole thing took like an hour. As awesome as these Gundam Assemble models are, they are hyper detailed. You either use Tabletop Standard as a quality gauge, or you go 3 knuckles deep and spend 30 hours getting to display quality. And honestly, I did not do that. Even though this is a representation of my work and it's going to get released into the wild, it's pretty important to remember that not everything has to be a masterpiece. Good and good enough is whatever you decide it to be. And personally, I'm happy enough with this just purely existing. Now, you might be thinking there is a lot of red on this model, and yes, there is an actual accent color for this. To break up all of that red, it's more red. Jumping back to those reference photos, there are a few sections on here that are a more saturated red, which actually does a lot of work in breaking up the monotony from that 45-year-old cougar at speed dating lipstick red. Because if I'm being 100, that Terrestrial Titan work up into the Basilisk Red, it was starting to look like a smacked ass. And just like when we were painting the black, the same rules apply. Avoid the mess and be as neat as possible. A sharp detailing brush, a little bit of patience, thin down that paint. This time you don't have to put the Barry White on. I mean, you can if you want, but if you don't be careful, somebody's going to get pregnant. Alright, let's highlight the red with a slightly less red.
For that slightly less red highlight, I'm doing the exact same as we did with the airbrush. I'm going to take a little bit of that maroon red that we used for the base, and then come back in with Opal Skin. Not so much that it's going to turn it into a pink, just enough to take it into the faded red territory. And again, we're just doing simple highlights, so we're looking for the flat panels that would be kind of facing the light, and then the sharpest edges. Since the quality level that we're aiming for is somewhere between okay and done, this whole step is more about defining and popping out details and less about boner level artistry. You don't need a trophy every time you load your brush and paint something.
I don't know if you missed it, but we've got a lot of red. Red base with red highlights, and then a red accent with more red highlights. And as simple as it sounds, it would actually be a little bit misleading to say that this is a simple thing to paint. There is a lot of detail, and as much as a space marine is just a pile of cylinders, it seems like mobile suits, especially the more modern ones, are just a stack of boxes. And with this particular stack of boxes being a little monochromatic, we need some detail separation so it doesn't just feel like a jagged blob.
What we're doing here is essentially the manual version of what a wash does. Some people call it black lining, some people call it dark lining, who cares? All that's actually going on here is we've thinned down some Terrestrial Titan, and I'm following every single little line and crevice just to kind of just add a shadow and a little bit more detail to said details. The whole idea is separation, detail separation if you will, and its purpose is purely for readability. You absolutely could use a wash for this, but there are two downsides to that. One, if you just slap it on, it is going to cover absolutely everything and dull down every single color that we've put on here so far. And two, okay, it's really just the first thing. But honestly, if you're into that, go for gold. If you want to get some grimdark or some grime in there, just throw on a brown wash and you're done.
Alright, we've done our black lining, well, Terrestrial Titan lining, and so we've done the lowest of the lows. Let's keep that same idea in the opposite direction with a few choice highlights. I'm not highlighting everything.
Honestly, I should have just done this before we moved on to every other section. But there actually was a reason that I did. Quite often, I'll leave out a step or two of highlighting until everything else is done, just so I can see where everything's sitting, where the focus is going, and where the balance is. And since we are getting pretty close to done here, it needed a little extra pop. So all we've done is mix some more Opal Skin into that Basilisk Red and started picking out some of the harder and sharper lines. You'll notice that there's a little bit more on the helmet because we want that focus.
Not gonna lie, it feels a little samey same, just kind of like the same color stacked up on the same color. Let's try a universal shadow to see if we can make it feel just a little bit more cohesive.
All this is a real quick spray of Nightroot Shade, which is like a purple wash, through the airbrush, mostly at the underside. I like to use washes instead of speed paints for this because they're a little bit thinner and we're really only tinting and adding a little extra tone. The speed paints are a little strong, but a few drops of medium or water would fix that too though.
Yeah, look, I don't know if that did as much as I was hoping. Let's just do the beam saber.
Since everything's painted here already, because that's literally what we've been doing for the last 8 minutes, I'm going to cover everything over with a little bit of blue tack. Because yeah, I'm busting out the airbrush again. Painting white over this whole thing really didn't tickle my fancy. But if you've been here before, you know what does tickle my fancy: fluorescent pink. And your mum. If you've been here before, you were expecting that. And just like your mum, I'm going to go a little bit heavier on the tip and kind of fade a little bit of a gradient back towards the hilt. Just makes it feel a little bit brighter as it goes back towards the power source. Also, yes, I use old blue tack that has a whole bunch of paint already in it because it's lost a lot of that tack. It's also lost a lot of that blue. There are paint jobs out there so amazing that they make you want to put your paintbrush up your nose until you hit the reset button. This is not one of them. But if I can knock out 3 of these in 3 hours and then go and roll some dice, I'm good. Hobby enjoyed, mission accomplished. As always, a massive thank you to InGames, the Army Painter, and the best Patreon members in the world. Big love, you filthy heretics.